Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. Esther is here with another video, and today I thought I'm gonna do Q&A. I ask you guys on my social media, especially Instagram and Facebook, to ask me any questions you would love to know about me, and it could be about art or about my life, just anything. And I got a lot of questions actually, so I will just go and randomly choose some and answer them. Okay, so the first question is, are you introvert or extrovert? I don't know how to answer this question. I would say I used to be more introverted before, especially in my childhood, but as more I spend time around extroverted people, I become more and more extroverted. So I wouldn't say I recharge from talking to people, but I wouldn't say I get my energy back only when I spend time alone. So I feel like it's both way for me. So I'm half introverted and half extroverted, depending on the situation, I guess. I don't know if this type exists, but that's how I feel about it. This one is good. Do you know how much paint you use each year? How often do you have to replace a paintbrush? I don't even know how much money I'm spending to pay my bills. So to count how much paint I'm spending, I don't know, every time I walk past the art supply store, I just go in and buy everything I found attractive. Even if I don't really need stuff, I'm still buying paint, and I have multiple brands and I just keep buying them, and I don't know when I'm gonna use all of this stuff. So this is part of my paintbrush collection. If you wash them properly, they will serve you a lot longer. So I always clean my brushes after acrylic with just hot water and soap, and after I use oil, I clean them in the solvent first, and then again I clean them a couple times with soap and hot water. And that's how you do that. You just put soap on your hand and just try to get all the pigment out, and you need to do it 3, 4, 5 times depending how strong is the pigment. But I would say I buy new brushes every month or a couple months depending on the specific brush I'm using, because so for example, this fiber type brush, they're the most useful for me. I'm using them for all the details. This kind of my favorite brushes, and I have all sizes and types, and yeah, so it really depends how you treat your brushes. Some of my students, they come to the lesson and they show me brushes that completely turn into the stone, and you can't use them anymore, and that's just because they forget that it has to be washed after every time you paint. So that's kind of tricky question. But with paint, I would say if you buy a set of basic paint, it's supposed to last for a whole year. But it really again depends how many techniques you are using, how thick you're painting. Because I'm painting in mixed media, I'm using multiple mediums, I'm doing inks and graphite and acrylic, and I always finish with oil. So because my last layers are always with oil, but I have so many other layers underneath, I don't need to use as much oil paint. So I can show you all of my oil tubes, they're still look pretty new. Even I use them already for a whole year, just because there's really good brands, and they have such a strong pigment and a big amount of pigment, obviously, so you can use them up fast. And we are going to the next question. Angelic Blue Art asked it. What advice would you give to your young self if you could? And I would say probably not caring too much what other people think about you or your art. Just progress over comparison would be my advice, because it's not always good to compare yourself to other people, because we all have different rhythm and have different skills and abilities, and if you always compare yourself to other people, you will not put attention and treasure your own progress. So I would say progress over comparison. That's what I would suggest if I could to my younger self. Next question. Rita WDW asks, have you ever left a painting in the middle? I do it all the time. Actually, because I love working in, it's not like I love working on different pieces at the time, but it's just the way it happens to be. I started one painting and I get bored with it, so I start another one and I get bored with it too, and I start one more, and then I have a couple painting in different stages just left behind and waiting for this perfect inspiration moment to happen. Just kidding, I don't believe in inspiration so much, but to the moment when I will decide to actually finish them and refine them. So yeah, I currently have around 10 pieces, maybe not finished, and I could finish easily each one of them in like maybe a couple hours, but I just don't feel like painting them, and I don't know. I'm trying new things all the time, but I did not finish at all some of them because they were just bad, and it's okay, it happens, not everything's supposed to be perfect. Another question from Isa Castellanos Art. I don't know, guys, if I'm saying your Instagram names correct me if it's not right, but I'm doing my best. Which of your paintings is your favorite or speaks to you the most? Okay, I have one specific painting I did at Milan Art Institute. It was a start painting for my portfolio, and it was a time I was especially struggling with finding my own style and my voice. And I was trying so many things and so many styles, and I was painting different subject matters. I just didn't quite get it at that time. So I really wanted to find this style that I'm supposed to work and to find my voice. And one night I was having this dream about a red parrot and a big room full of white canvases, and the parrot was flying from one canvas to another, and it was transforming in each canvas to another object, like a red horse or a red house or a red field of poppies and so many different things. And when I woke up, I just had this feeling that wherever I will paint, it will still represent me, and I don't need to worry so much of what actually I'm gonna paint. But I did paint a red horse, and this red horse painting is still my favorite, and it has been sold to one of my art collectors in Hong Kong, and it's really started the whole series of these horses, zebras, all of this dreamy style, and it's one of my favorite series so far, and this painting was start of my solid style, so I really loved it, and it was my breakthrough piece. It actually called breakthrough. Okay, we have another question. How do you take picture of your artwork? I mean, I'm using my phone and take them. I'm watching, so the light will be good. Yeah, it's not that hard, and you can always edit them in different editors like Photoshop or Pixelmator or Lightroom to make it more vivid. And yeah, it's just simply my phone. I don't have any specific camera. Do you visualize your painting with all the colors you want before you begin, or does it come as you paint? That's a really good question. So I'm not this kind of person who just sees stuff in my head. I mean, I do see stuff. I do have an idea what I want to paint, but in most cases, for me, it's really important to have a source. For the beginning, I just have an idea what I want to paint, and then I go to Pinterest and I find different pictures of people, animals, depends of what subject matter I already choose to paint, and then I'm trying to find this couple sources, couple pictures or like figures or animals that look like something I imagine in my head, and then I'm just combining them in the photo editor. Like I'm using Pixelmator to edit, and I just play a lot with editing. And then I have the source and I print it, and it looks like something. It already looks like my painting when I print it, because I already mixed up so many things into the source. So then it's easier because you already have a solid composition and colors are right, so you don't need to think too much in the process of painting itself. But I do love spontaneous things, and sometimes, especially when I start with spray paint or inks, it doesn't go quite the way it was planned, so it just changes happens, and it could change during the process, and I'm fine with it. Escape the Fishbowl asked me, why did you decide to be an artist? That's a good question as well. As I said in my previous video, since I was little, I wanted to be famous, and part of it not because of the fame itself or, I don't know, being cool. It's nice to have all of that, but my motivation behind becoming famous was that I want to change the world with something I do. I want to make an impact on other people. I want to make a difference, and I really felt that all the creative people, they have just way more platforms and abilities to express their opinion on things and actually be heard, because they're always on these platforms, they're always on the place when they influence the culture, they influence the society. People pay attention to what musician and artists and actors says, and everyone wants to be like them and follow them. So for me, art, it was one of these great tools that can make a difference in the world, and it doesn't have any language or culture barriers, but it speaks directly to the person's heart. In the same time, it was just fun, it was cool, you got to play with paint for the rest of your life, and what life could be better. Also, I got multiple questions asking what is my greatest inspiration, or where do I find inspiration. I would say inspiration not the main thing, you guys. The main thing in being an artist is go and work. The only thing that matters after all is how many hours you spend behind the paintbrush, and how dedicated you are to your occupation. And how Picasso said, inspiration has to find you working. It's coming when you already put some effort, when you already sat down and start doing something, then inspiration comes. I would say so many things inspire me. Traveling is inspiring, seeing new places, talking to new people, going to gardens and parks and being in the nature, going to the art events, making connections with interesting people, inspiring me. Music inspiring me. It's not like a force that make you start creating. Don't underestimate inspiration, but don't overthink about it, because inspiration not always is the main thing. One of your favorite memory. I have so many of them, so many favorite memories. And that's the thing, when you live in your destiny, when you doing with your life what you're supposed to do, when you're called to do, what you were born for, every day is a life-changing, amazing, beautiful memory. But one of the greatest memory, I guess, would be my time in Arizona, because I got to ride horses almost every day, and the nature there is just wonderful. So all of this time, especially riding horses, was such a sweet, just divine moment for me in general. Okay, last questions for today. How do you choose your subject for your paintings? I would say it's really personal for every artist, because the subject you choose always goes back to your personal aesthetic and what is the message behind your paintings and what do you want to say and who you are as a person. What is your message, what is your story, what is your, things that you find beautiful. So for me, in most cases it's animals, and it's not just random animals, but it's animals that carry personal meaning for me somehow. And I did say I love horses, and I do paint them a lot because they're symbolic for me. This call for freedom and return to freedom. Love wild horses, love the concept of freedom, and that's why one of my main lines in my art. Yeah, it really depends from you as a person. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this video, and I hope it was helpful and inspiring, and I really enjoyed reading all you guys' questions. Fortunately, can't do all of them in one video, but I'm planning to do Q&A more. So if you like this video, make sure to subscribe to this channel, hit the notification button, give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and hope to see you soon. Bye!